Hello everyone, and welcome to the 64th episode of the Poorly Planned Podcast. My name is Benedict. You may know me better as BHL Hudson. Here we talk about movies, TV shows, a bunch of nonsense. With me as always is my friend, co-host, and somehow, by some miracle, still not in the same room as me buddy, Frederick, the...
Why is it a miracle? You bastard.
What's the...
And thank the Lord that I have not seen him yet.
What's the opposite of a miracle? By some disaster. Now, I just want to say, I called this last week. I said, we shouldn't make any promises, because who knows what's going to happen. And you said, no, I'm putting my foot down, we'll be together, next week, and we can record, and we can have the microphone, and your audio won't be terrible.
And BHL said he doesn't want me there, basically.
So, because of unforeseen circumstances, as happens these days, Freddie is still in his home without a microphone. That's why his audio sounds like that. I hope it's okay, but we're recording via the internet, so there might be the occasional pause in the action or something. But
this is slowly becoming the norm.
Yeah.
This is. I like the recipe we're coming up with here. We're bringing the quality so far down that when we actually go back to what we were used to, it'll blow their
That's yes, a smart tactic on our parts that we definitely thought of beforehand. So yeah, bear with us. Again, the hope is next week it'll be fine, but
But again, you know what? I'm gonna promise.
Don't. You never know. But anyway,
it's a promise from FTK Games.
Anyway, we have a great pod for you here today. Time code's in the description if you want to skip around.
I still don't know what we're doing.
So we're gonna do mini reviews, what we watched this week, some news, have a little bit of topic, and then announcements and such. So first of all, I think also I want to spend a bit of time on the topic, but also I don't really know because we only have an hour to.
But also it's a terrible topic, so.
Also, I don't really want to be here. We only have an hour to record, so let's just see how it goes. But I think normally we spend too much time on the mini reviews. However, now I'm spending too much time on the intro. Oh my god, I'm completely.
Oh my god,
this up.
There's just there's no way we could ever be good.
All right, first.
We're so unprofessional.
First mini review. I watched Days of Future Past again. Just after working on my favorite movies video, I was like, you know what, I haven't watched some of these in a while. I should go back to these. And I watched old McAvoy.
Old Jackman?
Dude, I forgot how he's so delightful.
He's so Jackie. He's so Manny.
He's such a, I don't know, Hugh Jackman. That movie, again, I said this in my video, and I think because we've gotten so much amazing crossover stuff from the MCU, we really forget that crossover, that cast is insane.
It's pretty.
You got the young cast, the old cast, great action. Oh, that movie is fucking awesome. I love that film.
No, that honestly, Jackman. When you think about people who are born to play a role, Jackman is definitely one of them.
In Les Mis, you mean?
In The Prestige, that is.
That's a good movie too.
But he was not born for it. Come on.
Then, do you have a mini review this week? A mini review or two?
Oh, I do.
A mini review?
Suddenly it's all gone away. A mini review.
The sequel to Ratatouille.
Mini review.
I don't know what I'm doing. Go ahead.
And somehow it's working so well. I don't get it.
I'm just winging it.
Why do you have this gift? I watched, which borderline unhealthily, 26 episodes in 2 days of an anime called Mirai Nikki.
Oh.
No, I finished that a long time ago.
Sorry.
26
in 2 days.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
20 episode, in length of, or we'll say in 48 hours. So it's the evening, then the next day, and then the morning of the day after. But anyways.
How long is an episode?
Mirai, 20 minutes.
that's the only appropriate reaction to that. That's alright.
Silence and immediate firing from the pod. Called Mirai Nikki Future Diary, or that's the English version, and it is. It's the main character. I hate him. He is the worst. He's such a little wimp. God. It kind of reminds me of you, but in a way too realistic way.
Well, you beat me to the punch because I was going to make that joke about you, but I was trying to let you finish. But then now I'm paid for it, which now I'll never let you finish a sentence ever again.
And but the ending is so a total mindfuck. The ending. It is.
Is it like a fantasy thing or?
Let me tell you. So it's basically it's kind of like it's got similar vibes to Death Note in some ways, where 12 people are given like diaries on the phone, which then predict their future, and it's basically then like a fight to the death between those 12 people. So like each one of them can predict the future in some way or another, and then whichever person is left standing wins. It's like an elaborate Hunger Games kind of thing.
I was gonna say, yeah. Well,
I'm getting some Katniss vibes up in this one.
I have to say, I think, I mean, it's kind of like a bit of a running joke that, like, I don't like anime mainly just to insult you, but, like, I don't have a problem with it. But I do have to say, I think what I've seen from it is good, but I do have to say the premises of a lot of anime shows or animes, they're very creative and, like, intriguing. Like, even no matter how much I mock you for it, like,
and you mock me quite a bit.
Like, the premises do sound, so I mean, just to be clear, yeah, we joke about it, but like, I don't have,
just to be clear, I don't like it at all. It sucks.
Like, I don't have a problem with it at all. It's not really like my forte. Plus, you like it, which makes it instant, subject to ridicule.
Yeah.
But hey, so that you would recommend that one?
You're lucky I don't like you.
Touche.
There are other ones I would recommend before it, but it's a pretty good one.
Then I've continued watching Fargo. Not much to say. Just a great old show.
It's good. It's a good one.
Freeman is slowly becoming more despicable. The plot lines are intersecting. The crazy twists. Great show. Just excellent. I think I'm on episode 7 of season 1. Just excellent show so far. And then, do you have any more mini reviews, or should I just because I have one more that I'll just rattle off.
I've got one more.
Okay,
I've got one more.
Please.
That certain does not deserve rattling off, because this movie, possibly one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Watched it with my family, so immediately terrible, as you can assume. Called Operation Christmas Drop, which sounds.
Why does that sound
as horrific as it sounds?
Like, yeah, I don't even know.
So the premise is it's a naval military base in the South Pacific Ocean, like on a tropical island.
Okay.
Which then were the American soldiers, who's by the way is Björn from Vikings, the big hunky man.
Sure, I've never seen Vikings, but I'll I think they're all big and hunky.
Trust me, but believe me, this man is the hunkiest. He plays a cargo pilot who's also like the commander or something on the island, and they all love Christmas. And then there's a thing where they usually drop Christmas presents and like rations to the surrounding islands. But then the government want to do cutbacks and might shut down the base, and a whole lot of drama. Is
it a children's film?
It's like a Christmas family film, I think.
Is it Danish?
No. The guy's Canadian. So that'd be troublesome.
So it's not good, is
it? It's not great. I won't lie to you. It's not great.
Huh. I removes that from my watch list, which was next up.
Which was number 1.
It's only that movie. Then finally,
to all the Operation Christmas Drop fans that are watching.
We lose all subs. Then I'm gonna just bunch all these together. I have started doing a bit of a thing.
Madness.
Bit of a madness, as we say, as us very British people say.
Of course.
Because next year, potentially, I'm looking to study film, amongst potentially other things, at university. And so I was thinking, and I mean, also just because I want to work in film, and also talk about film, on YouTube. And so I was thinking, given that I'm on a gap year right now, and also the world's locked down, so I have more free time, I was thinking now's a good time to catch up on a lot of classic movies. So I don't walk into, university film class and you haven't seen Casablanca, like an asshole. That's the conversation I imagine you have on the first day of film school.
I can imagine that's the kind of thing you get kicked out of uni for, not watching the classic movie Casablanca.
So I watched 3 this week. I watched Little Caesar, which is a film from the 1930s, a gangster film. Okay. I watched Casablanca, as I mentioned. And I watched
nice.
Sunset Boulevard. And they were all great. I will say Little Caesar was more of a film that you kind of, like I watched it and like I appreciate.
You kind of hate.
I appreciated like the filmmaking of it, but it's not something I would watch for my own like entertainment. Okay. Like it didn't really like. I was more like it's interesting to see like how they made films back then and all that, but it wasn't really. Like I wouldn't just sit down and watch it personally. But then on the other hand, Casablanca and Sunset Boulevard, both absolutely incredible films. Casablanca, yeah, just maybe Little Caesar set me up to feel like, because I was thinking like, maybe a bunch of these classic movies are gonna be like, okay, like I appreciate it, but they don't actually make me like feel stuff like when you're just watching a movie regularly, But no, Casablanca and Sunset Boulevard, both incredible.
Did you hit the tear ducts a little bit?
I actually didn't, surprisingly, considering how much of a...
I'm actually dead inside.
How much of a baby I am watching movies, apparently. But
yeah, no,
Casablanca, amazing film, great, cast and classic movie romance. And Sunset Boulevard, also great. And not what I didn't know what it was. Like, I'd heard the name, obviously, but I didn't know it was more of like a kind of... I thought it was going to be like a light-hearted kind of Hollywood sort of fun La La Land kind of thing, but it's not that at all. But it was excellent.
It's a Kevin Hart comedic stand-up thing. It's way more fun.
So yeah, I'll probably talk more in depth about those someday. But yeah, great stuff. So, are you ready to talk about the news, Freddie? That's my news intro now.
I was.
The news.
The sitcom intro ensues.
All right. It doesn't matter if you're ready.
I'll cautiously say yes.
First of all, the MTV Movie Awards happened. Now, I know you're thinking, how'd they do the MTV Movie Awards if there have been no f***ing movies this year? Well...
well, they didn't. Vaughn won all of them.
They did all time awards. So, like, the GOAT Awards, which sounds pretty fun, but they only had, 8 categories. Anyway, I chose out the ones that are the most... or where the winners are ones, we kind of know or talk about. So the GOAT for the Dance Your Ass Off award went to Kevin Bacon in Footloose. The GOAT Comedy Giant.
This is terrible. This is already horrendous.
The Comedy Giant is Kevin Hart. I guess like a pun on him being, a man of short stature. Pretty hilarious there, MTV.
Pretty good dig at Kevin. Nice.
It's kind of an epic meme, MTV.
You know he cried after that.
GOAT comedic duo, Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler, which I know you'd appreciate.
No,
given that you're such a degenerate. GOAT.
Have they ever been in a movie together?
Are you kidding me? That's why they were chosen. They've been in 3 movies together.
Which?
The Wedding Singer, 50 First Dates, and Blended. Also, I used to think 50 First Dates was like it's the 51st date, but it's actually 50 space first dates. So I had a revelation this morning.
No.
So I had a really shocking. I was just sitting there afterwards in the shower, just like.
So I was sitting in my bed, just sitting in the shower. What the does it all mean?
Sandler?
He went on 50 different dates?
What a crazy movie.
He's the craziest dog.
Then the Shiro, which I'm assuming is like hero, but she, because it's a female, went to Gal Gadot. And Hero for the Ages went to Chadwick Boseman, which is very nice. And so that at least is nice. The rest of it, I mean, there were a few other awards. Not really much to say about them. So yeah, good for you, MTV, I guess.
I guess you did all right this time.
We did talk about this last time, but our favorite, most Danish boy, Mads Mikkelsen, is, in fact, confirmed as Grindelwald, which is funny because we said last time he would be our pick, and then between us recording and me putting the episode up, he was confirmed. I think it kind of says something about our powers of manifestation. I'm not trying to say...
Is that really... I thought we did that 2 weeks ago.
We've been talking about this for a while, man. The Grindel train just has been going nonstop.
God, yeah, the Grindelwald, the Grindel train.
It's whatever vehicle Johnny's using, it instantly becomes the Grindel train. But he's been officially confirmed. So not much to say there because we talked about it, but a good choice, I would say.
Excitement.
Yeah.
And
also,
I can see it.
That means Mads Mikkelsen has been in Star Wars, James Bond, Harry Potter, and Marvel. So I'm just saying. I'm not trying to say the Danes are ruling the industry.
I don't want to say the Vikings be back, but
I'm trying to say Mess is doing a bit of a madness. A messness?
I don't want to say Mess is doing a bit of a madness, but
but he is, obviously.
I think he is. I don't want to say that, but I think I have to.
Then, did you hear about the big HBO Max news? Big news story from over the past week.
Who is this Max?
Now the sitcom intro starts.
Who's the comedic giant now? I don't think so.
So every single one of Warner Brothers' major releases next year are going to be released the same day in cinemas and on HBO's streaming service, HBO Max. So that includes Godzilla vs. Kong, The Suicide Squad, all the Warner Brothers
Godzilla vs. Kong is just... Who gives a shit?
I give a shit.
Honestly. Do you give a shit?
You. I mean, no, not really, but like... Oh, no, I do, but like...
I mean, I don't give a fuck.
I am interested in it from the perspective... Like, I'm not a huge Godzilla fan or King Kong fan, but I'm interested in the fact that, like, come on, you don't want to see Godzilla and King Kong punching each other. Come on.
Not really, honestly. I've never really gotten into the whole thing.
Wow. Well, you are sad. That's not a new revelation we're having today, is it? And a lot of people are not happy about this, i.e., James Gunn is not happy, allegedly. Christopher Nolan is not happy. Legendary, who helped make, or were one of the production companies behind Godzilla vs. Kong, I believe, are not happy. Obviously, cinemas are not happy. Well, because it's gonna, okay. Yeah, it sounds like it's kind of the start of the end of the cinema, which I obviously would.
What a dramatic phrase to say that. The beginning of the end of cinema.
Obviously that's terrible. Like if like cinemas went away, obviously that's like my worst nightmare, as I live there basically, or I used to.
As I own 16 cinemas.
That's my main revenue stream. So HBO, could you fuck off?
Well, how have they gotten the rights to this if like the people involved don't want it?
No, so Warner Brothers and HBO are like linked, but it's like the direct, like James Gunn, who directed The Suicide Squad, like he doesn't have a choice in it. It's like the production companies.
Okay.
But
so James Pistol is powerless.
He's pistoled off, one might say.
Nice.
Speaking of
guns, he doesn't have the guns to stand up for himself.
Speaking of comedic giants, but
it's back and forth right here. It's really doing it for me.
But I don't know. I feel like cinemas are always going to be like, I don't think it's going to kill. I hope not, obviously. I personally will not be watching any of this stuff. Like I would still go to the cinema for all these movies, but I get that like they have to with something. Like Wonder Woman 84 is coming to HBO like in a couple of weeks, but that's because like the world's locked down. Like by like mid 2021, is the world still going to be like, I feel like they should have gone more like as it went along, like just to say blanket like the whole of next year. I mean, again, I'm saying this as a
is this a COVID thing they're doing?
Yeah.
Or is it just like
no? It's COVID based.
Okay. So even if it's like the movie comes out in like October next year.
Yeah, they're saying. I mean, it's also something they've like people have talked about for years, like doing same day releases. But I don't know. I do think it'll. I mean, there's definitely a market for it. And again, I say like, oh, I would have done, but obviously it's a huge corporation with tons of moving pieces. I'm, just a little YouTuber sitting here at home, but just a little YouTube god. I don't know, none of my business.
Just the biggest man on the platform. It's whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I really hope it doesn't lead to I think there'll always be cinemas, but I hope it doesn't lead to some kind of like downgrade of cinemas.
This is surely gonna make them lose so much money, isn't it?
I'm sure they've thought of that somehow, but I don't know. It's a very complicated. I think maybe I mean
I don't buy it. I think they've messed up here. I think they just went.
They didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll see. But hopefully, all is well for cinemas. And I mean, yeah, again, there's a market for it, and it could be convenient for like some people. Like a lot of people definitely use it. I don't know how I feel about it really, but I hope and believe cinemas like physical ones will stick around. But here we'll see.
The metaphysical ones. No.
Then, big Spider-Man 3 news. We kind of talked about this last week as well, but it was pretty much confirmed. Not confirmed, but it's being reported by reputable sources. Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone, and Kirsten Dunst are all going to be returning for Spider-Man 3, basically confirming it's, Spider-Verse.
Who does Kirsten Dunst play?
She's Mary Jane in the original.
In the original, okay.
Who's always, getting saved and making Tobey Maguire cry and stuff, It's not hard to do, but...
Any sane person could do that to Tobey.
But yeah, so...
Tobey looks at a pair of working eyes and he just starts crying.
But yeah, so Spider-Man 3 Spider-Verse, very exciting stuff.
I genuinely think that is going to be the best Spider-Man movie if they pull this off. Because that...
Yeah.
It's basically into the Spider-Verse, but
live action.
With Tobey Maguire.
Just insert him into any movie and it'll make it better. Operation Christmas Dump or whatever it was called. Just put Tobey Maguire in there.
Operation Christmas Dump sounds like something completely different. It's just Bjorn from Vikings taking a 2-hour shit. Jesus. It's the biggest operation of the Navy's history.
God, this podcast has gone downhill since episode 1, hasn't it? But yeah,
good thing to admit on your own podcast.
God,
yeah. So this is, you're pulling an Elon Musk here, saying, "Yeah, this is not worth at all as what you guys make it sound or make pay out to be."
Yeah. So yeah, if they pull it off, I think it'd be an absolutely. I love how the MCU still finds ways to one up itself in interesting ways and keep fun crossovers and all that. And then they're gonna have the X-Men. It's never gonna fucking stop. So they're killing it, and yeah, I think it could be too crowded or something, but I have a hard time imagining they would mess this up. And also, I think it's gonna be an absolutely enormous, box office wise, it's gonna be huge. I think it's gonna be, yeah. So yeah, very excited for that. Then final piece of news. I just want to go on a little rant here, but also, interesting news, I guess. But a vintage BHO rant incoming. But
okay, God, we love those.
Doug Liman, who's a great director, he did Edge of Tomorrow, among other things, is making a heist film starring Anne Hathaway, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Ben Stiller, Stephen Merchant, Lucy Boynton, Ben Kingsley, wouldn't go in there for 5 minutes, Mindy Kaling, and Dual Hill. Now, this does sound...
The sad thing is, I just watched that Mandarin scene 2 hours ago.
Why did you just look up Mandarin tells you not to go in the bathroom scene?
It was just recommended to me. I was like, I can't not watch the Mandarin. It's not real.
What is wrong with you? So, I want to say... So the thing is, this sounds great on paper. A heist film, I love a heist film, great director, great cast. However, the film is called Lockdown, and it's set during the COVID-19 pandemic. And I do just want to say, I don't ever want to think about this time ever again when it's done. Don't you agree? It's not something you want to, especially because this will probably come out, I don't know, a year and a half from now, maybe, when, it'll be done, hopefully, but still kind of fresh in people's minds.
I feel like it'll probably be awkward if it came out whilst it was still happening. They'd feel really bad about themselves.
Yeah, but also, I don't know, the whole, it's just such a, masks and social distancing and all that, it's, it's become the norm now, for everyday life, and it's once we get out of it and we get back to normal life again, I think we'll also realize, because right now, it's everyday life, and so we've kind of gotten, people are dealing with it, even though it's still rough. But then once we get out of it, I think we'll really look back and be man, that year was that was shitty that we had to do that for an entire year, and I'm so happy we don't have to do that anymore. And then Doug Liman is making this movie where it's hey, it's a heist movie,
and then Ben Stiller walks in.
And then it's just gonna be a heist film, but everyone's wearing masks and avoiding physical contact. I don't know. I've heard a bunch of stuff they're making a TV show.
That just in itself sounds terrible.
like a sitcom based on, during the COVID pandemic and all that. I'm just I don't know. I feel it's a bad idea. Not only putting aside that it might be offensive and all that to, well, that's not, it's a time period and it's a historical thing or whatever. But mainly just I don't ever want to, if they made a historic thing like in 40 years or something, or even like in a few years, like just like a thing like a historic film about it, set in that time, telling the story of how it happened. But like just a normal movie, but it's set during this time. It's not a time I want to think about, like. No, let's just get through it, and then let's just move on.
And don't look back.
Stiller, cancel it. That's the BHL hot take.
But like, in fairness, why people keep calling me? I'm so popular.
Why does everyone love me so much? God.
In fairness, I think because this thing has definitely changed the world. As we know it, and I think in like a decade or two, people who didn't experience it. And this is really bad because, like, not that a Ben Stiller heist movie is an accurate representation of what it was like.
The only living evidence of it.
But I think that it might be interesting to look back at and see just, like, kind of what it was like. Like, even, like, for the people who didn't experience it. I get what you're saying with people who did experience it. Like, why? Stiller, But for other people, I feel like it might be an interesting thing.
No, that's fair enough. I think I'll amend that to say like something coming out like.
You better amend it, you bastard.
Something coming out like soon, like in 10 years, like it'll be kind of like when we're more well removed from it. You can also look back and be like, oh yeah, I do remember. Like it's interesting that it's set during like it's if a movie's set during like World War II or like I don't know some other time in history, it can be kind of like okay, like I remember that. Like, but if it's coming out like next year when like we've just kind of gotten over it, I don't know. Personally, I'm like I don't want to think about it. Like let's give it some time. Let's get back to normal and then we can have Stiller's heist adventure or whatever it's gonna be. Anyway,
Stiller's heist adventure. Are we gonna talk about the Logan Paul kind of thing? All right.
Yeah, I mean we can talk about it a little bit, but we have to just a little bit though.
I'm not very invested at all. So
Logan Paul's fighting Floyd Mayweather Jr. So arguably the greatest boxer of all time versus the 0-1 YouTube boxer. Who is
I don't know how in the world
defeated by
Logan Paul has gotten away with this.
Olajide Olatunji. So
who sometimes acts as Falabi Olatunji. It is insane.
Who some know as Baba Tunde. So yeah, I mean it's happening because Floyd Mayweather loves money, and he also
he made almost $300 million off the last fight, wasn't it?
Something like that. But he
with McGregor.
But he goes through money very, very fast, and he's at the age where like he can't, fight like Canelo or like the top boxers of today. So he just does like he did this exhibition bout against this kickboxer in Japan last year, and it was the most like fake. Have you seen it? Aussie Men Reviews. I know you watch him. He did like a video about it. It was the like fakest like it was.
Oh, was this the blonde Japanese dude?
Yeah,
who was like all over.
It was like just like flying all over. Yeah, like I don't know. He's an amazing boxer, but he's also just he makes some decisions, doesn't he? Well, anyway, he's fighting Logan Paul. Which can I just say, I think this is a huge win for like YouTube in general. Like this is the biggest crossover into the mainstream that YouTube's ever done. So I definitely support from that point.
Most definitely. I really hope he wins. Like Logan Paul.
I mean, that would be the biggest upset in sports history. Like not even no exaggeration. Like it would be, and I mean it's not it's extremely improbable. But it's not. I mean it's boxing. Anything can happen. So it's not impossible.
Yeah. Also, he's way bigger than him, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like Floyd Mayweather is like a tiny man.
Yeah, compared to Logan, definitely. I mean, well, yeah, and compared to me, I mean, 6 foot.
A giant over here.
But yeah, and yeah, it's crazy, and also huge win for. I mean, whatever you think about Logan Paul, like. No matter what happens, he's already won. Just getting this fight.
He's already kind of won. He's getting a lot of money,
and if he just like survives like a few rounds, which he probably will, because Mayweather's style is generally quite defensive, and like he's probably looking to outpoint him. Then he's gonna come out looking good. So yeah, it's crazy, and I think it's a great thing for YouTube in general to cross over in the mainstream. So. So next up, I'll be fighting Floyd Mayweather. I'll be fighting Big Nasty from Creed 2.
So Big Nasty, where you at? Well, yeah, like the thing is, you say he's the greatest boxer of all time, but And again, you're more of a boxing nerd than I am.
Just a tiny
but
bit.
It's kind of weird. It's weird to put into like perspective almost that while he's the greatest in his like division, but when he would go like if you were to go up against some like bigger guys like Logan Paul, who's already not as trained, but like he would just be demolished. I feel. Don't you think? Like if him and Tyson Fury were to go head to head.
Well, I mean that's why
Tyson Fury could flick the man.
That's why weight classes, because like if you're 250 pounds and you hit a guy who's 150 pounds, then you're gonna like
exactly.
But
like how much heavier is Logan Paul?
About 50 pounds. But they'll have to make him cut a little bit to. But also that's the whole like point of it. That's like his only chance is that like landing one big punch. But yeah, that's why they have like pound for pound rankings in boxing. Is like if everyone weighed the same, who would be? And a lot of people say Floyd Mayweather is the pound for pound best. I think Big Nasty would be up there. But that's me personally.
Big Nasty is.
But yeah, so it's fun. It's crazy world, man. Crazy world. It's so weird. But I'm excited. I don't know. I follow the YouTube boxing thing. I follow boxing in general. So this is very. I'm excited. Now, for the topic for this week, what a transition. Speaking of fighting, I thought we'd do something a little bit different here. Now,
we get shirtless and fight each other.
We get in a ring, and I pulp you. I want to say first, I swear this is true. I was trying to think of something to do for this pod because I wanted to have like something a little bit different. I was thinking like we could do some kind of game, like the trivia thing we do sometime. Like I want to do some kind of different thing. And I wrote down this idea, and right after I wrote down, I realized the Weekly Planet does something exactly like this. So this is yet another example of us just doing something the Weekly Planet does, but worse, presumably.
Okay.
However, we'll put our own twist on it.
You put us down way too much. You know we're better than those assholes.
He's joking, please. I love you guys.
Please, Mason, I love your beard. It's great.
But I think we'll put our own little twist on it. But we are, in fact, but yeah, credit to them, even though I promise I came up with this independently. But now it's not. We're going to be doing what I like to call verses. So I was thinking, I've got several movie characters here, and I was thinking I have some matchups here. I pit two movie characters against each other, and we discuss who would win in a fight.
Watch Mojo also does this. So
yes. Okay, we're copying Watch Mojo, guys.
Don't.
Not Mason.
Way bigger platform they have.
So, are you ready for this? Because I've got some pretty good matchups here.
This sounds very interesting, actually. Yeah.
All right, first matchup. Who would win in a fight? We have evil Winston Duke from Us versus serial killer Vince Vaughn from the movie Freaky. So, we have...
Ooh.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because we have kind of like...
That is an interesting one.
I would say Duke is bigger. Like, Duke has more mass,
No, yeah, which is tough when you're up against that flab of a Vaughn character.
They're both in presumably decent shape, I guess. I don't know. Good for Duke.
You know that is not true.
I feel like we insult people way too much on the show. You just called Vince Vaughn a flab of a man. Like, we can't do that. Like, what if one day I actually do work in Hollywood and then, like...
He'll be long dead. Don't worry.
You can't say that. Anyway, so... Oh, my God.
Well, there's a few factors you have to take into account, right? Are we doing this kind of thing where, like, we put certain factors against each other and then, like, give them a point for each thing, or is it
no? It's just like they meet in the street or something and they just fight.
Well, then I think Duke would eat him.
Because Duke is more, but Duke is like more, like kind of slow and stupid, Like Vaughn clearly, like evil Duke, like evil whatever his name was, Abraham I think it was. So like Vaughn has like the skills, he has like he'll stick a bottle down someone's neck and then explode it, You remember that?
Duke is more slow and stupid.
So I think Vinny V might take it because remember.
But the thing is, if this is difficult because Vinny V relies on tools. I think.
That's true.
Like an arrow, a knife, a bottle,
his fists.
Whereas Duke. It's pure brawn,
Yeah, I think. Let's say they meet in like I can't say a football field because that's literally the exact same thing the Weekly Planet does. Let's say they meet in an alleyway, All right.
They meet on a hockey field. What happens?
I think. Oh God. I think Vinny V. Okay, here's how it goes. If Vinny V can find some kind of thing in the alleyway, like something in the trash, I think he can win. Because remember, Evil Duke's biggest weakness is people having the slightest intelligence, as he was mulched by Normal Duke kicking the motor. As he was just mulched by Normal
I
Duke.
thought you were just going to say, yeah, just mulched by Normal Duke.
But
he was made into a doozy.
If they kind of are just meeting like no tools, I think Evil Duke takes him out. So let's say Evil Duke for fairness.
Well, so that's answered absolutely nothing. We need to choose.
All right, let's say he can have tools.
I'll say Evil Duke.
Okay, fine.
Oh.
Okay, fine. Evil Duke. Next up.
Evil Duke. Okay.
Now I can't decide. Okay, we can do both fist fight and also a detectiving competition. Hercule Poirot versus Benoit Blanc versus Evil Duke.
I thought you were gonna say the Peel detective. Like, honestly, I thought you were going there.
I shouldn't.
I was like, we already know who would win that.
So Poirot versus Blanc.
Well, Blanc, wasn't he a horrific detective? Like, wasn't he?
I mean, he was okay, but again, I feel like Hercule, like neither of them solved the crime from memory. Like, they all reveal that they killed Johnny. Spoilers for Hercule, the famous movie Hercule.
So what did you watch over the weekend? I watched Hercule.
and Benoit kind of also sort of accidentally himself into. So let's say in a fight.
Well, in a fight, Benoit would take it.
Because Benoit's the
detective-wise, I think Hercule would take it.
Yeah, but physically matched like Benoit's. But you know, Hercule had some moves in that opening desert sequence.
I think you're thinking of Gad falling down a weird mine shaft.
Hercule had some.
Because those are not moves; those are tumbles.
He had some. Remember, he tripped up a guy. Like put his cane in a wall, and then the guy ran into the cane. So you could do that. You could do the old cane maneuver to Benoit.
Yeah. Get, and then step in.
But yeah, fist fight definitely Blanc because he has that Craig muscle. You know, that's how he says it.
That Craig muscle.
Yo, I got that Craig muscle.
Now that is hooey.
That's such a good Benoit.
Thank you. I thought you were gonna insult him, but then you just.
Oh no. Oh, this one's interesting. Cavill in Mission Impossible 6 versus Dwayne in Rampage, but it's post being shot. Now, Dwayne wasn't.
Keep in mind, it didn't hit any vital organs.
Exactly, but I felt like we had to even the playing field because Dwayne versus Cavill ends very, very quickly in one punch. However, Dwayne post being shot
would go down even quicker. Again, Cavill winning.
Cavill has a chance there because I mean, Cavill we saw he has some decent martial arts.
He's got the bump.
He's got the Cavill bump, the cump.
The cump.
And I think he could target where even though it wasn't any vital organs, he could give it all the Cavill hook.
The Cavill hook would then go into the bullet hole and then grab the vital organs.
It's like a Mortal Kombat.
And then Dwayne goes, and then Dwayne ultimately loses. No, I think also this is before he gets his face melted off, right?
No, it's right after the hook goes into his skull. It's just this lifeless corpse just flung at Dwayne. Somehow wins.
Dwayne immediately loses. Gets a heart attack from sheer fear.
I think
Cavill would probably take it.
But keep in mind, after he's shot, Dwayne still does a bunch of shit. Like he still like runs and.
Well, he does a bunch of shit, but it's not good, is it?
he grabs a machine gun. He's pretty okay after that actually. So
actually,
but
I'd argue it made him strong.
No, but yeah, probably Cavill because he does have. But Cavill couldn't even take down Tom Cruise, and Tom Cruise is like 5'8", like. Not Dwayne.
But Cruise is Cruise.
That's a good point, actually, yeah. So, okay, Cavill, definitely Cavill.
Yeah. Now that you say that, Cavill could beat anyone in the world. Yeah, so Cavill's the winner there. All right.
Baby from Baby Driver versus...
Yeah, he'd lose.
Versus Dom Toretto.
Oh, are you kidding me? Is this like a race?
In a race. In a fist fight, I'm pretty sure Dom Toretto... I'm pretty sure Diesel would like break his entire skull in one flick. No offense, Ansel.
His own, that is.
So in a race.
Ooh. Okay, well, it's not really fair because like, if it were like an actual realistic race, Baby would win. But Diesel relies on these
Diesel does have
outlandish
super gas or whatever it's called. Like
yeah.
This like don't say it.
This is Diesel after some taco.
I knew you were gonna go there.
Ansel Sands, not a chance.
He has like yeah, like in the 8th one, he has this really terrible car for this street race, and they're like, "You're gonna lose, Vin Diesel." And he's like, "Not when I have this magical oil." And then
I have this fire booster, this magical oil, and he performs massages on all of them.
And then I think I don't think Diesel can be. I was about to say I don't think Diesel can be stopped, but I realized that would be the most horrendous sentence anyone's ever said. But like, no one really stands a chance against Diesel, like in his universe, you know. In the real world, I think he crashes very quickly. Like in the real world, he doesn't make it past the starting line.
Diesel, in his own mind, is brilliant, but in reality, he's terrible.
I mean, in that race, like his car catches on fire. Like if that's the real world, Diesel is not doing so well. But in Diesel's world, I think he takes it. But I'm gonna say Baby because I got to stick with my guns. Here's a good one. Self compliment there for me. But
okay.
And there's a stipulation to this. So it's Hawkeye versus Renner from Tag, but it's in a game of tag. So we have.
That is the most horrendous thing I've ever heard.
So Renner from Tag.
I was there waiting for the stipulation, and then it was just the worst. But it's in a game of tag.
Renner has, as we all know, has never been tagged. But Hawkeye is like a super assassin, you know, athletic Renner man.
Yeah, athletic. It is basically, this is a scenario. The two same people against each other.
But I think Renner from Tag takes it because, like...
Because he's never been tagged. Come on.
Because, like, Hawkeye, he's trained, but he's not trained for like the outlandish
for Renner,
for the donut throwing techniques of Renner.
If Chili couldn't do it, no one can do it.
So yeah, I'm gonna take Renner from Tag in the tag battle.
No, definitely. In the taggle.
The tackle. Thank you.
No, anytime. That's why I'm here.
Let's see. Now this one needs a stipulation, but I couldn't think of one because like it's quite obvious who the winner is if you don't have one. But Jack Sparrow from Pirates 1 versus Jack Sparrow from Pirates 5. Now, I think we need to give Sparrow from Pirates 1 a disadvantage, because if not, he clearly beats the sad, old, drunken fool.
To make it a fair fight, probably remove all his limbs.
Probably kill him before it starts.
Then Jack Sparrow 5 might have a chance, but it's still uncertain.
Like, or you have to give Jack Sparrow 5, like, steroids or something. I don't know. You have to. There's no way that's a fair fight if you don't.
I think we should just. Well, that's on Johnny himself. Like, I think we should just put him head on and just give the normal Sparrow the deserved victory.
I think, but you know, Sparrow 5 has like quite a few. Like he has kind of like the Toretto.
He gives me Toretto vibes, which is the most insulting thing you could say to any man.
Because like he kind of lucks his way out of any situation. Like the universe just kind of wants him to win in that movie. Like remember the guillotine or whatever. So he might just like.
In fairness, so does the other Jack, but in a more just charming way.
That's true.
If they had a charm off, that'd probably be better.
Then Renner from Tag.
It's even more of an unfair fight. Nah.
Then
definitely just Jack Sparrow won.
This I think is the. Actually, there are two more. Well, there are three more, but two of them are really good. One of them is pretty terrible, but this one I think is a creme de la creme.
Okay.
Jason Statham from Hobbs and Shaw versus Muggsy from Kingsman.
From Kingsman? Definitely Jason Statham.
What?
Very easy, I'd say.
That's my creme de la creme.
But the creme!
Why Statham?
I don't know. Statham, he's got the chisel. You're
saying Muggsy doesn't have the chisel.
Compared to Statham? Don't lie to me.
Muggsy has
Would
hair.
you say Statham?
Got him.
Touche.
We're 1-1 now.
Would you say that Statham is less chiseled than Muggsy? Don't lie to me.
He's not that.
There's no way.
He's like bald and gross. No, I'm kidding.
Gross. And stinky.
He's not like. He's not. I don't look at Statham and think chiseled. I think like cool and like gritty and like badass.
And just the best.
I don't think like when I look at Brett Dalton, which I do often, I think like there's a chiseled man, you know?
Of course.
What is this conversation? But no, but it's not a chisel off regardless. It's a combat event.
It's a javelin. Well, also, so Muggsy is a trained agent.
Yeah, and Statham's
Statham's an assassin. So if it came to killing the other person, Statham would definitely win.
Are you kidding? Muggsy's trained to kill people.
Yeah, but he's also trained to do other things. He's like an overall specialist, whereas Statham specializes in this one area. He hones it.
I think Statham would actually make a great Kingsman villain, and I think Muggsy would.
And he would kill Muggsy.
No, that's the opening scene.
You're right. That's very, very. Muggsy just dying.
I know. I'm giving that to Muggs. I think he has more.
No, I have to give this to Statham.
More
honestly.
skills, more smarts, obviously, because look at the decisions Statham made in there. Yeah, that's a definite Muggsy win on that one.
It's so not a definite. You can't just overrule.
We might skip this one. I wrote George the Monkey versus Patman, but I don't really know why I wrote that. I was trying to think of like an appropriate.
Is this George the Big George?
What other George the Monkey is there?
No, but like
Curious George.
No, I know we're talking about the George, but I know, but what I don't know is this him in giant form or is this him in?
Oh, no, it's him in giant form. Yeah, that's the challenge.
Patman.
No, that's the thing. Like, okay, let's say it's not Patman; it's just normal Batman. Okay, let's say it's after.
That is even easier for George.
Because like Batman's taken on like big intergalactic threats before, like George the Monkey from the movie Rampage. So I think Batman. I think he could find a way. He'd find his weakness.
He might find a way, but George could find so many different ways.
And finally, I think this might be the best one. And keep in mind,
you set that out of the state.
the stipulation here is that it's a fist fight, so no weapons allowed.
Okay.
We have John Wick versus the Coach. Now, another stipulation. The Coach can call in his ragtag team of boxers at any time. And then Ernie in prime time. They all just gang up on him. No, okay. John Wick versus the Coach. So what are you saying? Coach v Wick? Because Johnny...
This is a good one.
Thank you.
Because Johnny Wickathan.
John, like, he has good, like, martial arts, obviously, but I feel like his specialty is, like he...
Gunplay.
And also, like knife stuff, like I feel like all of his martial arts, like, fist fighting stuff usually is to lead into, like, a weapon kill. Like, he'll fist fight you and then put a knife in your eye, So, like, if he can't do that... And the coach does have, fists.
And the coach goes,
so game over.
No, he's the coach.
So easy dub for the Coach. So, I mean, realistically...
So easy dub for the Coach.
Realistically, John Wick takes it. However, I don't know. I'm feeling the upset on this one.
However...
to the scenario I just
fancy
created.
an underdog.
Oh my god. But yeah.
I think as much as I love the Coach, I think I would have to give it to Jonathan.
Jonathan would probably mess him up pretty bad. But
it's like, I'm gonna mess up Big Nasty.
So that's the first episode of Versus, I guess. I think you should leave in the comments below both.
If you want to see more of this.
Well, yeah, suggestions.
I know you don't.
Suggestions for future versus battles, and who you think would win in some of these scenarios. With that being said, should we just go to the announcements and such? Because I know we don't have a ton of time left.
Yeah. Let's do that.
First of all, fan page. The Tom Cnews. I mean, sorry. It's time for. I keep forgetting it.
The Tom.
All right.
God, what a horrendous realization. Now let's move on to.
Tom Cruise's daughter Bella refuses to move into his $340,000 a month penthouse. I don't really want to. I don't like to go in on sad like family stories with Cruise. I prefer more like Cruise like office motorcycle kind of stories. Let's skip that. Kate Winslet very proud to beat Tom Cruise's underwater filming record with Avatar 2. So she held her breath for 7 minutes. Good for her. Oh, you're gone. You're totally gone. Oh, there he is. There, he's back.
Ah, there you are. You're back.
Did you hear any of the Winslet stuff?
Did I hear any of the what?
The Kate Winslet stuff?
Yo, I cut off halfway through the Tom Cnews.
So you didn't hear any of the Kate Winslet things?
No.
Okay. Well, you know what?
What's the Kate Winslet stuff?
She held her breath for longer than Tom Cruise did.
No way.
7 minutes, apparently.
I don't believe that for a second.
No one could beat Cruise. Then the fan page. We were Kian's top podcast on Spotify. Big honor.
I saw that.
Thank you very much, Kian.
Well, was it 5,800 minutes or something?
Yeah, and I will say, like obviously because we've only been on Spotify for about like a couple of months. I'm curious to see like next year after a whole year what like our analytics are like on Spotify. That'll be interesting. But yeah, thank you so much for everyone listening on Spotify. Then there are a bunch of memes. I don't know if do you really have to go like now?
No.
Okay. Just like we have like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, well yeah, then there's a meme about you not knowing the difference between these two women. Now I can't even remember their names. What's her name? Elizabeth Olsen and Elizabeth Moss. There it is. Very, very good.
Good
Photoshop job on that one. Also.
Very good meme, I'd say. Yeah, it looks like I am Pam.
The memes are pretty high quality. I'm not gonna lie. We have Jake Johnson's Many Names, Nick from New Girl, Chili from Tag, the guy from Tag, and Nick Morton's best friend. I forgot that Tom Cruise was called Nick Morton in that movie, but it makes me very unhappy. Then movies that need a Ben and Fred watch. A Christmas Ben and Fred watch. Fred Claus with Vinnie Vaughn. Never heard of it, but I'm worried about that.
Oh, Fred Claus with Vinnie Vaughn. That sounds like
a death threat.
Like a hostage video.
The Gentleman, Treasure Planet at the World's End, that prison scene in Fate of the Furious. That we could definitely do.
In Fat of the Furious, it's only Statham.
You just said he was so chiseled. So
from the neck up, below, I make no promises.
We definitely want to get to some of these at some point. We have some Ben and Fred watches. Hopefully we can do if we can ever see each other again, which we'll see about that. But yeah,
hopefully it doesn't happen.
I would love to bring back Ben and Fred watch though. I love those videos.
Yeah. When
someone starts to tell you about how much they dislike the Poorly Planned podcast, finding who asked, which is a great meme. Also,
but my question is just
who is going up to you?
Anyone? Yeah. You know that podcast, the Poorly Planned podcast. Hate those guys.
That one. Then there's a BHL Reddit which I haven't checked out yet, but I would love to, and I will as soon as this is done. But link down below.
I checked it out yesterday.
I have a Reddit, man. I could do a KSI-esque like video now.
Well, the thing is that I'm like the first post on that Reddit.
So you can do the
it's
KSI.
It's only being used to promote my channel. It's just a picture of FDK Gaming.
But that's awesome. So thank you for setting that up. That's very, very cool. And then finally, Fat Man, which is a movie you've been sending me promos for, and I don't answer to it because I don't know what to say to it. But you just keep sending me Fat Man promos.
I do believe the first time I got a thing saying Mel Gibson is, and then in caps, Fat Man.
Okay, yeah, I did respond to that. I obviously. Also, yeah, I like how Kian captioned it. Say it with me now. Billy Crash. So it's Gibson. I didn't even know Goggins was in this because I haven't watched any of this stuff. I just saw like the thing.
Goggins is the man trying to kill Fat Man.
I haven't watched any of the videos. No, sorry, I didn't watch the thing you sent me, but I just saw.
I've sent you like at least 5 of these promos.
I just saw it said Mel Gibson as Fat Man. That was funny enough to me, so I was like, yeah, I'll do it.
Didn't even realize that it had a much deeper fear and meaning.
Frightening. Look at Billy in this poster. Anyway, so that's definitely something we have to check out. Fat Man. Fucking incredible. Then we got an email about apparently Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has a new TV show coming called Young Rock. About his life, I think. I have not had the time to watch these, but I clicked on them. I saw the thing.
Young Rock.
At first I thought it was like a Young Sheldon type thing where it's like just a bit of a joke. There's a TV show about Young Rock coming out. Good, I think.
Like in his wrestling days kind of thing? Or?
And like even younger than that, I think. So
Ooh.
Pretty epic. Yeah, there's the thing of him like with the fanny pack. So yeah, by all accounts that'll be something.
Vomit.
Then we got some. Oh man, I can't even find it. We got something about the Renner app, which I wanted to bring up. We'll bring it up next week. I can't find it right now. I'm sorry.
The Renner app.
And then comments on Pod 63. There was something I wanted to mention. So yeah, very nice comments on Pod 63. And I also just want to say, Chisaki says, "Ayo, Fred's a fellow weeb." Fire emoji, which I think is an appropriate comment.
Chisaki, big man.
Anson Hartzler recommended you watch Violet Evergarden.
I've heard good things.
Said it's the first work of fiction to ever move me to tears. Devilman Crybaby. Kier05 says watch that. And also we should watch The Lighthouse, which I want to get around to. Then there was something else. And finally, Richard Bacchus says, Benedict, how does it feel that your MCU in chronological order vid has more views than the most infamous movie review on YouTube, Red Letter Media's Mr. Plinkett's review of The Phantom Menace, which you probably haven't heard of because you're an uncultured man. But it's
I didn't understand a word you just said. Like that was so many.
It's a very famous.
So many different things that went on.
Video review on YouTube, and I will just say that's very, very. Cool.
It doesn't even have 10 million views.
I guess not. Well, mine doesn't even have 10 million yet. Hopefully.
Yeah, but it doesn't sound that famous then.
It's a legendary video. I think that's been the pod for this week. A horrendous episode, but when are they not? I hope you enjoyed. Again, hopefully we'll be in the same room recording next week, but again, probably not.
I promise.
Another promise waiting to be broken. You can find me on YouTube, BHL Hudson, Instagram, Twitter, BHL_Hudson.
Romantic.
BHL_Hudson. You can email the pod at bhlhudsonvids@gmail.com.
You can find me on Twitter at FTK_DaltSniper, is it?
You've said this for like... You've said this phrase once a week for like the past 3.5 years. How do you not remember it?
We've got me on YouTube at FTK Space Gaming, is it? And we've got me on Instagram at FDalgard.
Thank you very much for listening, and we will see you next time. The audio cut out for me for a second there, and I'm really glad, because I heard the start of it and then just cut, and I was like, yes.